I'm Charlie Rose, and tonight I'll be sitting down with the cast of The Bonesetter's Daughter, the long-awaited film adaptation of Amy Tan's best-selling novel. In a remote mountain village where ghosts and traditions rule, Lu Ling grows up in the care of her mute, precious auntie as the family endures a curse laid upon a relative known as the Bonesetter. When headstrong Lu Ling rejects the marriage proposal of the coffin maker, a shocking series of events are set in motion, all of which lead back to Ruth and Lu Ling in modern-day San Francisco. The truth that Ruth learns from her mother's past will forever change her perception of family, love, and forgiveness. With me now, I have Ivy O'Connor, Satchel Perlowski, and Eli Salmon, who you can see as Ruth, Lu Ling, and Art on the big screen soon. Welcome, everyone. It is my pleasure to be sitting down with you all. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Fantastic.
Thanks for asking.
Wonderful. So, did you enjoy the making of this movie? Amy Tan has revealed that she was quite demanding as a producer on set.
I enjoyed making the film.
Yeah, I also agree.
Fantastic.
She was really great, and I hope we did her novel justice.
She was amazing. She really knew what she wanted from us and pushed us as actors, which I think we all appreciated.
Yeah, I agree. She's a great friend and a great producer. She just wants it all to look good.
Great. What was it like becoming this character? Did you identify with Ruth?
I loved playing Ruth. She has so much to deal with between her life with Art and with her mother. As the novel reveals her mother's past, it also reveals Ruth's own childhood, and both were unexpected. Her views on family strengthened throughout the whole novel, and I identified with that very well.
Lu Ling is an immigrant mother, so Ruth has to deal with the differences in socially acceptable behavior. So in the flashbacks to Ruth's childhood, we see an entirely different person than we do in Lu Ling's own flashbacks, or even who she is in the present tense. What I liked about Lu Ling was seeing her change through the events of her life.
Art is pretty oblivious to Ruth's own problems for a solid chunk of the novel. It's not until he begins to understand who Lu Ling was that he really focuses back onto Ruth and the relationship. It's interesting how he changes. He becomes more independently sympathetic as Ruth and Lu Ling become closer to each other's lives.
How do you think the story would have changed if Ruth hadn't ever had translated or read Lu Ling's writings?
I think the story would have a block between Ruth and Lu Ling until the very last page if Ruth had left them. The relationship would have gotten darker as Ruth felt pressured to take care of her mother as if she were a child again. Ruth already had to take care of her mother as a child, and if taking care of her mother again ruined Ruth's life with Art, I think the story would have been very different and dark from what the novel is now.
I also think there would still be a divide between them. The writings made her mother a real person to her and gave Ruth an explanation. They also gave Ruth a tangible connection to her own past.
I think the story would come back to Ruth and Art. You know about how relationships change and become strained and end, and then what comes after.
No question. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What if Precious Auntie hadn't died?
I have no idea. Lu Ling might not have ended up in America at all. Ruth wouldn't exist, but maybe Lu Ling wouldn't feel guilty. I think Lu Ling has carried a lot of guilt for a very long time. Without Precious Auntie's death, I think she would have been a much lighter person, you know? She'd be less superstitious and maybe more open as a person and a mother, I think.
I disagree. I think she'd feel worse, as if this woman was still controlling her, dividing her from the family she believed and belonged to. As much as she loved Precious Auntie, I think she felt very trapped.
I think Lu Ling wouldn't have Gao Ling, who's really been a rock. Precious Auntie would have taken Lu Ling out of the family so they could be together finally. I think while Lu Ling would have been happier as a child, she would be very alone as an adult.
Alright, thank you guys. Make sure to see The Bonesetter's Daughter in theaters soon.